This might sound weird, but one of the most intimidating things to me is a blank Microsoft Word document. Whether I have to start an assignment, a document, or a project, oh my God, having to open a Microsoft Word, having to open a new Microsoft Word document, having to see that blank page and that black thing just go duh, 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 it always intimidates me. And at first, I used to think it happens because I overthink a lot. I always will over edit myself before I start something. And so having to start something from scratch, it was always just intimidating for me. And you can imagine with like all of these feelings happening before I've even typed anything, my body instantly now like it connects a blank Microsoft document to all of these negative feelings, to all of these internal workings that are like, it's me criticizing myself, it's me being self critical, it's me also feeling unregulated as well. So it's just all of these things just happening just because of just because of a blank Microsoft Word document, and me not missing a chance to psychoanalyze myself from a basic Microsoft Word document. I also feel like the anxiety that comes from a new Microsoft Word document for me also is connected to my fear of new beginnings, of having to start afresh. And I say that because there's so many times where whenever I have the opportunity to start afresh, whenever I have the opportunity to do something new, I will revert to the comforts of the past. Because one thing I'll do is that I'll replay situations that have happened in the past a lot. I'll replay moments, I'll replay seasons, and I'll just constantly ruminate on what I could have done differently, what I could have changed, how I wish I could have reacted. And that's something that's always like crippled me in terms of moving forward. Because fixating on a moment or situation that has happened without necessarily processing it or even grieving it in a sense doesn't do anything to move me forward, basically. Also, there's a fear of failure attached to it because I'm fixating on the past. And I don't think it's necessarily even failure, but I think for me, what I look at is like when I think about it, it's it's having to raise my hope up, having to raise the possibility of joy, that having that when you come into something new, when you come to a new page, when you come to a new situation, you are coming in with so much optimism. And when you do that, it's also a vulnerable place because you're basically opening yourself up to that risk of failure as well, or not even failure but pain, because so many things can have us like there's so many different things that that could go wrong, obviously. And sometimes in my brain it's easier, I'm calculating everything, and sometimes that the pain of having my hope lost, the pain of having my optimism like diminished, sometimes that overrides everything else, and it just like keep me risk averse, and it just keeps me afraid of having to turn the new page or like open up again. So
Yep.
and I think that feeling or fear of failure also gets worse when it's mixed with some shame, when you're carrying a burden of shame, when you are hoping to start a new page with the shadow of like something that you have said or done in the past that you know was wrong. Shame is also a huge thing that like makes me afraid of starting afresh, because I understand dangerous I can be, like how dangerous my actions can be for other people. Having those checks and balances for yourself is healthy. Being able to recognize, yo, this is how my actions affect other people is healthy. I think that where I have like crossed over is into a space where it begins to be about me punishing myself. And that just leaves you lingering on this page for forever, essentially, or for longer than you should. When you are afraid of starting afresh, I think those two things are the biggest things that you have to contend with, is that shame and fear of failure. And this one with this video is actually very weird because it's not like it's something that I have been like dealt with and then it's like done. Like this is something which, I think you it's a journey to work through. It's a journey to like to there's no end point. Hope that makes sense. It's like there's no end point to this. There's no version where you get to yourself and it's like, okay, I don't struggle with this anymore. I think it's something you work through every day. It's a journey to like constantly like have to turn the page. Like even sometimes you'll be stuck like anyways. I think that being aware of the process that your mind goes through is a huge thing. I think being aware of how you engage with things, how you engage with certain issues, how you engage with certain, triggers. I think that's something that's very important. So even though I've not like reached the the most healthiest part of struggling with like starting afresh, I think that even just knowing where I am, I think is something important. And yeah, I'll see you guys somewhere, somehow on one of these channels. Thank you.